Grand Forks police are now releasing new surveillance photos as they continue to investigate an armed robbery. Take a look. During their investigation, police found this picture from another area business showing this man with clothing very similar to the stores on surveillance photo. Witnesses say the man entered the Valley Dairy on Columbia Road, showed a knife and demanded money last Friday. Anyone with information can call Grand Forks Police at 787-8000. Fargo police need your help identifying the man and woman in these photos. The man was driving a red Ram pickup and the female passenger was wearing a Bison sweatshirt. Police say they're suspected of using stolen credit cards and were possibly involved in stealing a vehicle. If you have any information on those two, call police investigations at 241-1405. A man involved in a standoff with Fargo police is set to plead guilty tomorrow. Tate Smith Nerline is facing 4 felony charges after holding police at bay for 5 hours in August. The incident happened at 1007 8th Avenue North. A woman in the house at the time jumped out a window to get away. SWAT was called in and took another woman from the home. Smith Nerline eventually surrendered. His change of plea hearing is set for 8:30 tomorrow morning. A North Dakota man is in critical condition at a Fargo hospital after he was found lying on a road in below-zero temperatures early this morning. The Richland County Sheriff's Office was called out just after 8 a.m. to a county road about 6 miles west of Colfax on a report of a man with extreme hypothermia. They say 51-year-old Daniel Haverland of Walcott was found by family members and appeared to have walked almost 6 miles away from his vehicle that was stuck in the ditch. The National Weather Service reports that air temperatures in the southern Red River Valley were around -15 at the time he was found, with wind chill measurements around -30. He's currently being treated at a Fargo hospital, but officials are unable to release any updates on his condition at this time. We're following a developing story out of central Minnesota tonight. The Cass County Sheriff's Office is investigating after finding a girl's body last Friday. The girl's body was found in Cass Lake around 8 a.m. An autopsy is scheduled, and officials are not releasing any more information until final autopsy results have been released. Officials say there is no threat to the public safety in relation to this incident. It was rough overnight, but we ended up with an okay day, thanks in part to less wind. We want to hear about the warm-up that's coming, but first things first. Hutch, any problems overnight?
Well, there are a couple of concerns weather-wise as we head through the evening, and it's been a very pleasant day break from the winds, which have been gusty out of the north the last several days, causing icing and slippery roads and dangerous travel conditions. But as the setting sun shows, quiet conditions heading into the evening. A few clouds in northern Minnesota this evening with a flake of snow possible near Lake of the Woods and parts of Beltrami County as we head into the overnight hours. It's what's happening out to the west that has us most excited. Temperatures surging into the 20s in the Black Hills and 30s in the Rocky Mountains. And that milder air is going to be surging our way, but it comes with increasing wind speed, yes, and that will cause problems. Any of that fluffy, flaky stuff that's left outdoors will once again start drifting over roads, and with tires compressing it on the roads, it will once again be very icy in spots, both overnight and in your morning commute. Notice those temperatures as we go through the deep overnight, steady to slowly rising. That warming trend will carry us to some lofty new highs later on this week. I'll have details on that warm-up. But again, for tonight and tomorrow morning, allow extra time and take it easy on the roads, because even though we'll be warming up to near freezing, it'll still be quite icy.
Okay, good advice. Thank you.
You bet.
2 students were taken to the hospital after a semi barreled into a school in Minnesota. The accident happened around 8:20 this morning at the Lisle Public School. According to the sheriff's office, the truck driver was trying to avoid hitting a car that was turning into the school. He hit the car anyway, sending it into a ditch, and then crashed the truck into the building's art room. 2 students were taken to the hospital but are expected to be okay. The 52-year-old semi-truck driver was not hurt. Authorities say alcohol is not suspected in the crash.
So plumbing and heating is one of the biggest problems we're having in our current facility.
One of the oldest jails in the state is being replaced by a $17 million justice center. It was a contentious decision to raise taxes in Pennington County for the new facility, but Thief River Falls law enforcement says there are dire security risks and wasted resources that will be fixed with this new building. Valley News Team's Ryan Laughlin gives us the very first look at how a facility is changing the region.
There's a new justice center being built in Thief River Falls.
It's going to make things a lot safer for everybody.
The sheriff says a new building is going to fix a lot of old problems.
Just a few weeks ago, we had one run.
Currently, inmates are escorted across a busy street to the courthouse.
A lot of them have serious crimes. They know they're going to prison, and therefore, they'll do anything to escape.
He says they were fortunate they had 2 deputies working to transfer about a dozen inmates.
I'm thankful we had 2 deputies with, so the other one was able to chase the one that took off running down.
Security concerns aside, one of the biggest problems is the cost. Pennington County deputies have to drive overflow inmates to different jails all over the state. It's estimated to cost over $500,000 a year to house inmates elsewhere. In December alone, their 40-person jail was so full they had over 500 inmate days in other county jails. The sheriff says in his 10-deputy department, he's had as many as 4 deputies driving hours across the state to shuttle inmates.
I'm going to have deputies back on the road where they're supposed to be and not running as taxi services all over the state picking up inmates.
The new state-of-the-art jail's capacity will be 90. Right now, jail administrators say a vast majority of people that are locked up are in for drugs. Here, it's mostly meth. They're beginning to see an uptick in opioids.
So by doing what we're doing, in the long run, it's going to save Pennington County tax money.
Overcapacity jails are an issue across the region. They say it's likely dependent on how drug enforcement laws change in the future that will dictate how full this $17 million facility will get. From Thief River Falls, Ryan Laughlin, Valley News Live.
The building is behind on construction. They're hoping it will be open and operational by May or June. Democrats on Capitol Hill in Washington are threatening to shut down parts of the federal government and not pass a budget deal unless it includes protection for illegal immigrants called Dreamers. Weijia Jiang reports from Capitol Hill.
We've ever been in a position.
President Trump says he doesn't care where immigrants to the U.S. come from.
I want them to come in from everywhere, everywhere.
But last week, during a meeting to negotiate an immigration deal, the president reportedly said he prefers people from Norway than expletive holes like Haiti, El Salvador, and some African countries.
I did not hear that word used.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen attended the meeting. On Tuesday, Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee grilled her about the president's language, which she described as tough.
You said on Fox News that the president used strong language. What was that strong language?
Apologies, I don't remember a specific word.
That explanation set off Senator Cory Booker.
When ignorance and bigotry is allied with power, it is a dangerous force in our country. Your silence and your amnesia is complicity.
The controversy has halted progress on immigration legislation that focused on border security and DACA, the program that prevents young undocumented immigrants from being deported.
Now, Democrats are trying to add DACA protections to a budget deal, which Congress must pass by Friday to avoid a government shutdown.
I urge the president to lead us to that bipartisan solution. Mr. President, close the deal.
The president blames Democrats for the holdup, tweeting they want to shut down the government over amnesty for all. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
On Tuesday, the Justice Department announced it will try to reverse a lower court's ruling that blocked President Trump's move to end DACA. The Justice Department says it will also file an appeal with the Supreme Court. North Dakota's First Lady brings her